not think it's going to be exciting to look at the numbers on the grid, but this is going to be nail-biting stuff. Hang on to something. Miguel Zaraga and Ruben Volt on the front row of the grid. Alejandro Melendez and Nathan Otting on the second row. Kimi Abraham and Patrice Kowalewski on the third. 6 karts, very, very closely matched indeed. Nobody has been a clear dominant force over the course of this weekend. On the road yesterday, we had 3 very different winners in Alejandro Melendez, Miguel Zaraga and Nathan Otting. A couple of nose cone fairing penalties had to come into account, and that's how Miguel Zaraga ended up with 2 heat wins after it all. But there is still a very, very long way to go, and we have got an absolutely incredible battle ahead of us in this X30 mini final, pre-final, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We will, of course, mention the final a little bit later on when I'll be going down onto the grid and interviewing some of the drivers. So the guys are getting themselves dialed in and ready for action. So how is this formation lap going to prepare these drivers? Well, they'll be warming up the tyres and brakes, getting themselves into position. And there is the man who is currently, on paper, the favourite for this meeting, Miguel Zaraga, having been on pole position. But there's a long, long way to go. And this man, Ruben Volt, has got up very, very motivated this morning and is looking forward to the race with a lot of gusto. It looks to me as though Ruben Volt could well be the fighting force that gets a win out of this one. So the drivers are getting themselves into position. It looks like Alejandro Melendez has got a bit ahead of himself, as they're now going to have to slot back into positions once again. And there we go. Miguel Zaraga now moves to the front of the field in there with Ruben Volt, the Estonian. And then we have Alejandro Melendez of Spain alongside the Dutchman Nathan Otting. And then the 2 Belgian talents of Patrice Kowalewski and Kimi Abraham. Yesterday's 3 races in the X30 Minis were absolutely majestic to behold. And there was some absolutely fantastic battling from them. So this is worth getting a good vantage point and finding something to hang on to. Popcorn at the ready, guys, because this is going to be a showdown thriller. In these 2 races, we're going to see some absolutely spectacular racing. Here we go. Revs rise. Lights out. Let's race here at Wackersdorf. And it's a cracking getaway from Ruben Volt. He gets to the front first with Nathan Otting in his second place. Zaraga runs out of room to go through side by side, so slots into 3rd position. Melendez again round the outside at turn 2. He was so good at this yesterday. He's done it at the second hairpin and got himself into 2nd place and is immediately going for the lead. Takes it with ease, and that is Alejandro Melendez into the lead past Ruben Volt. Fantastic driving. So Melendez into the lead of the race from 3rd position on the grid, despite getting eventually, initially he was put down to 4th position by the way that the crowd worked, but he's fought his way into the lead, no problem. Up the inside, that's Kimi Abraham into 5th position past Patrice Kowalewski. So Melendez leads the way, Volt in 2nd, Otting in 3rd, Zaraga is 4th, Abraham's trying to get further up in 5th, and Kowalewski is there in 6th. Over the dip and down into the hairpin, and that's Otting going for 2nd place on Ruben Volt. Nathan Otting gets there but runs wide. Volt is going to get him straight back again. So they come through and over the line, and Ruben Volt back in his 2nd position, and this is giving Melendez a little bit of breathing space, as up the inside a late lunge from Otting, and Volt has got nowhere to go but run wide, and that's going to put Miguel Zaraga into 3rd position as well. So a good move there from Otting puts him and Miguel Zaraga up past Ruben Volt. Now here comes Kowalewski. Nice move on the inside there to get past Kimi Abraham. So Kowalewski, a good bit of driving there with his countrymen, and they are battling over 5th and 6th position. Melendez, Otting, Zaraga, Volt, Kowalewski, and the man in 6th place, Kimi Abraham. On to the far side of the circuit. Melendez has actually managed to build himself a bit of a lead thanks to that jostling for position. 10-lap race here in the pre-final, as he dials himself in for a very tough day at the office here. It's hotter than it was yesterday already, and that's going to mean that tyres are obviously going to be very much on the focus of a lot of these drivers. They've got to look after their tyres through the course of the race. 8 laps to go, 2 done. Melendez is your leader, Nathan Otting in 2nd. Now don't let that gap he's built over Nathan Otting fool you. Melendez has definitely not got this race in his pocket. We saw a couple of times yesterday drivers in the lead build a bit of a gap and then eventually lose it, just because you run better in the draft in the X30 Minis, and you run better in a pack as well, because just behind Nathan Otting you've got Miguel Zaraga and Ruben Volt, who are working together to assist Nathan Otting in his bid to catch Melendez, and it's already working. You can see that that gap is coming down already. Very exciting battle in the X30 Mini race to come. This is only lap 3 out of 10, and it's usually about lap 5 or 6 that things really start to cook up. So into the back straight once again. And this is Melendez's opportunity to pull away, but he's not going to be able to do so easily because Nathan Ottink is right there on his tail. Miguel Perez-Alaga in third position. Fourth place, that is Ruben Volt, the Estonian. Then Kovalevsky and Kimi Abraham. Up to the far side once again, through turn one. And Alejandro Melendez running well in the lead of this race. Through the hairpin. He's so good in that first sector. That's where Melendez is able to gain an awful lot of his time over the course of one flying lap. Ottink is second. Perez-Alaga in third position, the man who started from pole. So Ruben Volt has ended up being caught out a little bit there. Initially took the lead of the race, the Estonian, but as a result of all of the battling on that first lap is now down in fourth position. But it's got plenty of time to make up and plenty of time to go for it. Kovalevsky is actually getting onto the tail of Ruben Volt and is leaving Kimi Abraham behind. What a difference this is from 48 hours ago when the fastest man around on the wet was Kimi Abraham. And now he is there in sixth position. But as these five drivers are going to start battling, keep an eye on Abraham because he's been able to pull off a good couple of overtakes as things progress. So Melendez comes through and under the starting gantry once again. 6 laps to go. 4 done. We're almost at the halfway point, and Nathan Ottink is definitely getting into Alejandro Melendez's lead as they come up to the hairpin. The Dutchman is definitely starting to gain inroads now as they come through the square left, down to the hairpin at turn 4. Keep an eye on where Nathan Ottink is going to plant the kart. He needs to put himself into the right position. Through the right to 5, through 6, and then down into the chicane. Left to start with, right on the way out. Sorry, right to start with, left on the way out. I was never good at left and right. Nathan Ottink down into the hairpin. And this is where Nathan Ottink is going to start making inroads into Melendez. He's got that gap down to about a kart length and a half now. He's so good on the brakes, though, is Nathan Ottink of the PDB Racing Team. He and his dad, Marcel, have been working very hard on his confidence over the course of the last 3 weekends, and he is definitely rising to the occasion now. Nathan Ottink, second in the points, as it were, definitely with an opportunity to move his way forward in this pre-final as they come through turn 1. He's right underneath Melendez. Surely this is the chance to go through. No, he's going to hang back a little bit. We're at the halfway point. 5 done and 5 to go. As we did say, it's about lap 5 or 6 when things start to cook up. We're on lap 6, so this is the moment when it's going to start spicing up. But Nathan Ottink is waiting for his moment. He's taking his time about this. He doesn't have to rush with Alejandro Melendez. He's right behind him, and he can do the dictating work here. Second guess where the Spaniard's going to put his kart, and Ottink can outfox him with a good maneuver. He's closing up on him into the hairpin once more. And this is now Nathan Ottink's best opportunity of the lap so far, but he's, again, not quite well placed to do it, so he's going to have to work again. Out of that back straight, he might get a chance into the final hairpin. He's going to leave it late, but he's not going to get the move done this time by. So into the next lap. This is where Nathan Ottink is really going to strike over the line. He's got an amazing run out of that final turn. He's trying to get well away from Miguel Perez-Alaga behind him as well. Will he go for the move this time? Again, no. He just wants to leave Miguel Perez-Alaga in the dust, get these two out in front, and then start battling in the last 2 laps. We've seen so many times in the heats yesterday, basically as soon as there's a gap, you go for it. But Nathan Ottink is actually learning from watching a lot of the junior and senior contenders. He's just waiting for his moment. He's not going to go for the move until he's ready to. This is a quite different contrast to what we saw over the course of yesterday. And up the inside for 4th place goes Kovalevsky. He gets the move on Ruben Volt behind him. But Volt is alongside him side by side. And Kovalevsky gets through into 4th position eventually. Now Volt's going to try and get him back on the way out of the turn. But that's a good move from Kovalevsky. What a great run from the Belgian. So Patrice Kovalevsky up in a 4th place. Makes light work of Ruben Volt there. Good driving from Patrice. But Ruben Volt is still there trying to edge closer to Miguel Perez-Alaga. Again, Nathan Ottink is not going for that overtaking move. He's trying to build that cushion between himself and Miguel Perez-Alaga because they all know that Miguel is one of those guys that if you give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. So they're going to work very hard on it. Alejandro Melendez in the lead of the race sets the new fastest lap. 57.169 with Nathan Ottink right in behind him. So those two aren't going to battle until lap 9. It's going to be a very different style of race to what we saw over the last day of action in the 3 races yesterday. It was no holds barred, and every single time you go for a gap, you make it happen. In yesterday's race, this time it's a lot more calculated, a lot more strategic. Now, they've built a good gap over Miguel Perez-Alaga now. He's a good second behind them. So this is when we're going to start to see it potentially over the line. 2 laps to go. Nathan Ottick knows this is his moment to go for Alejandro Melendez. He's coming from a little way back. He's carrying more speed through turn 1. Is this going to be the moment into the hairpin? Not yet. Not yet. He still thinks I only need 1 lap really to deal with this. And Miguel Pedro de Zaraga in no man's land is falling into the clutches of Patrice Kovalevsky and Ruben Volt. This is a great run from Kovalevsky. He's really stepping up to the plate here, the young Belgian, in 4th position, being assisted along the road by Ruben Volt in their attempts to catch up with the Spaniard in 3rd place, Miguel Pedro de Zaraga. But these two still out in front. Alejandro Melendez and Nathan Otting. Otting is going to wait for his moment. He's going to do it on the last lap. He doesn't need to do it on the penultimate. He's going to continue to build that gap between himself and Miguel Pedro de Zaraga. And when it's over a second, which it just about is now, that's when he's going to pounce. And Melendez knows that he's going to be there. This has been such a different race compared to the 3 races we had yesterday. But here we go into the last lap. An intelligent drive from Nathan Otting to work on the back of Alejandro Melendez and get a second clear of Miguel Pedro de Zaraga. Now here we go. Watch the Flying Dutchman at work. Is he going to go for it in the hairpin? No. He's going to hang back and wait for his moment. Alejandro Melendez still looking for 34 points that will put him further up in the standings. So Melendez coming through the hairpin, up towards the pair of right-handers, into 6th, into the chicane, right and left. It's getting a little bit tight for 3rd position as well now. Miguel Pedro de Zaraga's got Kovalevsky all over the back of him. We'll try and keep in touch with those as well. Nathan Otting has got a little bit of a space between himself and Melendez. He needs to get that down if he wants to win this one. But there's still 2 quarters to go. Is he going to leave it till the last possible minute, or has Melendez got enough in the tank? I think he has. Melendez has done enough here. Stormed through to the lead on the first lap. Otting's going to try, but he's too far back. Melendez is going to be victorious. Alejandro Melendez wins the pre-final here at Wackersdorf. What a drive from Melendez. A really mature run from the boys there. Absolutely terrific. 3rd place for Miguel Pedro de Zaraga. A great run there for Patrice Kovalevsky in 4th place. A really strong, composed drive there. 5th position for Ruben Volt. Unfortunate for Kimi Abraham in 6th place, but still time to bring it all back. Well, that's been one of the calmest races in X30 Minis I've seen all season. And I have a feeling that as a result of that, they're going to have held something back in time for the final. It would not have surprised me if their teams and their mechanics and their dads have said, you don't have to go all out in the pre-final, you can do it in the final. So they've just brought home some solid points. Melendez is your winner by 0.119 from Nathan Otting, the Flying Dutchman. Miguel Pedro de Zaraga in 3rd place from Patrice Kovalevsky. Ruben Volt in 5th and Kimi Abraham in 6th. A very tame start to X30 Minis by their standards. So that sets things up rather nicely for their final later on. But a very controlled and very mature drive from the competitors in the X30 Mini fold. Next up, it's time for the Kamikaze starters, the gearbox machines of the X30 Super Shifters.